Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope people are joining in. So, a warm welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to this webinar on behalf of Technovage and on behalf of my partners, Cohesity, Veritas, and my extreme past partner, MIT ESP. So, what we are going to present to you today is not just a webinar. You know that evolving threat landscape in Cambodia. Um, uh, Cyber resilience is crucial because cyber attacks are not is if at the moment, it's when. So it's a necessity to recover. So here onwards, we will guide you through the emerging technologies and how cyber resilience could support your recovery, the solutions, and the processes, and how Veritas and Cohesity has come up together in providing these solutions. So I'll hand over this to my colleague Parenya. He will also uh, host this session in Khmer language and hand over it to the speakers.
Okay, សួស្តី good afternoon អ្នកនរគ្នាហើយអរគុណអ្នកនរគ្នាមែនតើថ្ងៃនេះដែលបាន join ជាមួយនឹង webinar តាក់ទងជាមួយនឹង Veritas Turnkey Cyber Security Solution ហើយខ្ញុំបាទដែរឈ្មោះសេងបញ្ញាហើយថ្ងៃនេះដែរខ្ញុំជា MC នៅថ្ងៃនេះហើយក៏ជាអ្នកដែលសម្របសម្រួលទៅលើ special webinar នៅថ្ងៃនេះផងដែរ so ដំបូងក៏សូមអរគុណដល់អ្នកនរគ្នាចំណាយពេលក្នុងអ្នកនរគ្នាមកពីវិស័យណាក៏ដោយ Cyber Security Professional ឬក៏ IT Network Engineer សំខាន់ឲ្យអ្នកនរគ្នា interested ទៅលើ Cyber Security គឺអ្នកនរគ្នានឹងទទួលបានចំណេះដឹងទៅវិញពី webinar យើងថ្ងៃនេះផងដែរហើយមួយទៀតក៏សូមអរគុណទៅដល់ Technovage Solution Company ដែលជា company មួយនៅក្នុងប្រជាជាតិកម្ពុជាជាដែល provide នៅ service ដូចជា cyber security network infra និង software development មួយចំនួនហើយថ្ងៃនេះដែរគឺពួកយើងបានចាប់ដៃគូជាមួយនឹង MillenniumIT ESP ដើម្បីនាំយកនៅ webinar ថ្ងៃនេះមកផងដែរអូខេហើយ so topic របស់យើងថ្ងៃនេះគឺយើងនឹងនិយាយអំពី cyber recovery solution អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំគិតថាអ្នកនរគ្នានឹងមានចម្ងល់តាក់ទង cyber security កាន់តែខ្លាំងហើយយើងនឹងមានការបកស្រាយពីវាគ្មិនរបស់យើងហើយថ្ងៃនេះដែរ speaker របស់យើងគឺមានពីររូបដែលគាត់មកពី Veritas ដែល Veritas Thailand មានដូចជា Mr. Raksani ហើយ Mr. Chanarong ផងដែរអូខេអញ្ចឹងមុននឹងយើងget start ទៅក្នុង presentation session ខ្ញុំសូមនិយាយអំពី agenda របស់យើងថ្ងៃនេះបន្តិចអញ្ចឹងយើងនឹងចំណាយពេលរយៈពេល1ម៉ោងក្នុងការ presentation session ហើយបន្ទាប់មកទៀត30នាទីក្រោយ60 minutes we have the Q&A session យើងមានការសួរសំណួរនិងឆ្លើយសំណួរទៅកាន់ audit និង speaker របស់យើងអញ្ចឹងអូខេអ្នកនរគ្នាអាច put the Q&A session in the chat box បានទៅពេលដែលយើងafter we finish the presentation part ហើយយើងនឹងធ្វើការឆ្លើយសំណួររបស់អ្នកនរគ្នា so okay without further ado let's get started I think to introduce our first speaker Mrs. Raksami who will be introduce Veritas Turnkey Cyber Recovery Solution okay Raksami the visual stick is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Virginia. We're here today to talk about it's time to go with the turnkey cyber recovery solution. So first of all, I'll assume that everybody know our Veritas, and Here, if you know Veritas for a long time, you might see that we are play a big role in the backup recovery software solutions. And at the end of the last year, 2024, we are still and continue to be a leader for 19 in a row and from the Gartner. And we are also have the hardware offerings, which we'll be talking in this presentation about turnkey, the complete package that we deliver, the best in class of the backup and recovery solution. So you can see that now we are protect the world's most important asset. The asset is mean data. We have more than 100 exabytes under our management, so you can trust with us as a advanced backup and recovery solution. So when we talk about why do we need the backup solution, first, if we going to utilize the HA, you might be familiar with this kind of term, right? We're trying to prevent the normal disaster. The normal disaster, how different with cyber attack is the impact, difference in impact, because we know sometimes in this technology of 2025, we know ahead of time that something happened like natural disaster. We have many plans like DR plans. We have orchestrated pipeline. So you guys will go into one click and then everything will land on the pipeline. And then you can handle the data. You can access the data, move the data to something called a safe place. But for cyber attack, it's far more complex. As you can see, we cannot accessible, we cannot recoverable because we have no idea what is cause of this happening. So here is what we focus on this era. Foresee another compartment is when we're going to use a simple backup data protection, it has no detection, it has no security embedded in the system, which means that criminals has no ahead that if the customer trying to put their data into the simple backup solution, hardware or whether software, they go ahead to hijack or steal the data right away, because the data, if customer has no data defense left, they have to beg for the attackers and they have to pay for their data, which is we have to avoid that as much as possible. So we need an advanced solution for the protection and recovery. Here is an example that is not about the Veritas only. It's about the global best practices that I put in the 4 modules. I think everybody familiar with this kind of backup rules, right? The 3, 2, 1. And here's an extra rate one. If I may have your answer for the rate one, what's going to be, you can put on the chat box while I'm waiting for the answer, continue to the module 2, 3, 4. Okay, just put on the chat box what is the extra one. Yeah, because the 3 that the meaning is backup copies. We have 3 copies. We have 2 type of medias to support, and we have at least one offsite of the copy. And then another, we move to the hardened infrastructure. You need hardened OS, you need hardened every level. You need to secure your network, you need to add a firewall, and you need to implement all of the software in the NIST framework or zero trust framework, which is a security best practice. So we trust no one, including our guys, to make sure that there were no stolen credential trying to be a bad actor being in our system. And we also have the multi-factor authentication. You have to utilize this because, on the social network platform even has MFA available, like Facebook, like Twitter, like in many of the platform provider, you need to have the MFA at least. So now you need MFA along with the MPA. In this term is multi-person authorization. You need more than one to approve certain critical actions. Move to the model 3 that we are going to talk about the immutable backup storage. Have you know about immutable storage? The immutable storage is very simple. Is that it cannot be altered. It cannot be altered. It cannot be changed. The latest version will stay remains the latest version. So to make sure that your golden copy of your data will remain the same in a safe place. And the last one that we're talking for a long time is doing the isolation, doing the air gap, trying to have a gap between of your production or many domains that you have trying to lose it up. Because sometimes if some of the area has infected, there will be another that's going to be the safe place, like an island in front of many of the domains. So trying to use the isolated system and so to make sure that your data will address them. And we're going to talk more about pool application technique in another slide. Yeah, I think so far so good. Yeah, you all can see now. Okay, so let's continue. Now we're going to do the best practice of the ransomware resiliency, which is, I think, is a best practice for all the backup solution to be prepared for any malware or any cyber attack. First, we're talking about the 3-2-1 backup rule, with I left the extra rate unanswered, but already answered. So the one that I've been left it empty is the immutable storage, because we need the immutable as a last known good copy. So we have to make sure that your data will remain the same, cannot be altered to any of circumstances. So we have 3 copies, 2 types of media, and 1 offsite copy, and another one for immutable. Another one, if you need to use all of this, you need to have the hardened OS, hardened hardware. You have to close every backdoor in terms of OS layer, application layer. You need to limit it any access as much as possible. Only the internal admin can go and build your system. And about the user security, you need to have 24/7 monitoring about the actions, whether it come from mistakes, from human mistake or human error, or malicious one. This will make you very complex, and if you can build this kind of castle to your system, it will be so impressive, because you need skill set and more resources from every parties together to build all of this robust system. And it takes months, almost years, to achieve this template. So how can I make it easier? I make it easier with our Veritas Place appliance. We're a hardware, complete turnkey solution. We provide end-to-end data cyber resilience, and is as known as the backup that everybody knows. So it's simply like that. We have many choices for small 9 terabytes to 400, and can be scaled to be 5360, 1 terabyte to almost 2000 terabytes. So you can see there are many choice for quick deployment or multi-tenant. Depends on your needs. We can tailor bespoke your system to fit our clients here. And we also have the long-term retention choices for you too. So here is our Flex doing. We're doing secure by design. We have protect your data with multiple layer security based on the principle that everybody knows. Their best practice, zero trust. And then we can detect and recover data with using the IRE as an optional, or you can use to secure your golden copy with our air gap technique. Imagine if there is an intruder trying to get access into our system, what's going to be? See the attack path. First, they're trying to gain safety upside, because they're trying to get as much as possible to sneak peek to your system. First, we need a protection in terms of NAC, which Flex provided for you. Will be use allow list IP address to make sure that others cannot enter to our system. And we help with security admin to do the MFA for the stolen credential. When I going to catch up the call, something that will be the scammer from every angle of the world, trying to stolen your credential, maybe your password, maybe your username, something, is not happen only big organization, will be a soft target for every attackers. They're trying to have our data as much as possible to get hijacked. Even in the small company or small enterprise, they will have the same scenario. So to make sure that the username and password, we're not going to locked in, very easy. We have the multi-factor authentication SSO, and we have integrated with CyberArk, which is very good software to do the requisitions and to prevent prevent login to the system, and now we can track back what happened if we're trying to investigate later. And if they can stolen credential and can invoke via the MFA, we have what they're going to do is they're trying to elevate the permissions, because sometimes you just stolen credential of basic admin, but you have to be super good to steal the data or destroy the data. First, we have no root. We remove all root access, which means that there will no super god admin that can do everything, including like doing image expression, delete all the data, wiping all the policy that we have. We have no role like that. We restrict then limited the rights of every role as much as possible. So to make sure that every role in our system has on the zero trust. We trust no one. We're trying to have a least privilege as much as possible. And after that, if they can enter to the last layer of the defense, they're trying to perform destructive operations, just as emit expiring, destroy our data, or steal our data. We have very unique security, which we call tamper-proof retention clock, which means that if you have a simple backup, imagine if you have simple backup and you're trying to make an immutable storage, you do have an expire date for sure. And for the expire date maybe on 10 January, if you are in attackers, you might be caught in every time. You have to go and get the data as soon as possible. So you're trying to back to the future, time travel by compromise the NTP data clock. So if you're trying to time travel to the 10th January as fast as possible, the image will be expired immediately. But what we have now, we have tamper-proof retention clock, which is separate from any level of the system, and we're counting down, which means that tomorrow is 24 hours. It's nothing else. So it will count down in milliseconds to make sure that it will expire prematurely. They will expire not prematurely. And we have the multi-person authentication, which means that if I'm Roxany, right? And another, my colleague from Veritas, he's Channeron. If Roxany it's got still password and username, and I got do something action very weird. Channeron will notice that and cannot approve some kind of actions. That will going to be delete image in Saturday night, which is kind of weird action. He can stop doing this kind of action. So there will be more than one people can doing some certain of action to make sure that the data will be not altered, will be immutable. Apart from the protection, in real world of Veritas Flag appliance customer, we're not going to be the step 2, 3, 4 because we can detect it on time. We can stop from being attacked for step 2, 3, and 4 by using anomaly detection. Anomaly detection, I will talking about them later on another slide. We have threat monitoring, we have third party with our security ecosystem to make sure that we can detect and stop it before it going to damage any single bytes of our data. And we'll continue using, because the security vulnerabilities has new and continually getting added up. So we have to follow and add to make sure that our Flex is robust enough to go in your and save your system. The RE that I've been mentioned before is now we have the 3 copies. It's based on the rule of the backup. First, we have the production domain and isolated recovery environment. As you can see here, we have the firewall in the middle of the 2 domains, and we have the perimeter replication. That means there are only unidirectional from IRE environments can request from product domain for the replication process only. There will be the time frame. There's only this time they're going to replication data, and they will request from IRE through the firewall. They have to be random ports to make sure there's no static port. Here is very, very secure. From the IRE technique that we have, we need the pool replication from this model. Another security controls appear on our dashboard. It's, as you can see, here is a Veritas Flex console. There is security inside the need for the security admin, it helps security admin to see it at a glance. As you can see, we use color, we use a meter. So at a glance, you can know what it's going to be like for your whole system. And we have recommendations. In case it's not green, we have recommendations to put it more secure by using something like combination like HTTP access control and SSH access control. You can click and you can follow instruction, and then you will be good or excellent responsively. Not talking about AI is not in the 2025, right? Here's the AI that we utilize. We utilize AI for a few years, like almost 5 years ahead of the market trend. And Veritas has utilized the traditional AI and generative AI responsibly. And here is a threat detection. Now I just mark behind about anomaly detection. Anomaly detection is what something happened that's not normal, like something more positive, something more negative, something that changed really huge amount. So you have to notice immediately it's not normal that we should be. Is a traditional AI that using a analysis from a long time. We use the time frame, the more you use, the more it's going to be smart. So what did they detect? They detect two categories. First is they detect our backup image. As you can see here, the usual of the backup is almost 5,000, right? But here, the data has transferred only 0.03. So it's kind of weird. If it's happened in your system, you have to alert it to the admin, to the data admin or DBS. So here is the anomalous severity. We have very unique technique security to calculate the score and then the severity to make sure that will be resolved and be noticed to our admin as soon as possible. Another one is they look into our user behavior analytics, because sometimes it's not about malicious attack, it's about human error. Sometimes we're human, we do many mistakes, but here is to against the internal and external threats, because something that we're doing very critical actions, right? Image expiration, session hijacking, changing global setting. Here is very critical and can wipe out all the system configuration. So this action can be trigger alerts or maybe MFA inline, which means that if you have stolen password, or you might open your desktop by not touch it, and then people from maybe another department that playing a bad actor trying to access your computer that already logged in, it will alert and then trigger the MFA inline to check it again. Is that you doing this action? And we also have the MPA to make sure that your colleagues know what's your action and approve it. So here it will slow down the cyber attacker and prevent the data critical operation like this. Another thing that very, very new from our net backup software features from the last year is that we have the recovery points recommendations by using our in-depth analysis. It will recommend at the time that you got fuzzy, the time that you know that your data is lost. You might be confused and shocked, and you might not know where it happened and when it happened, right? So this is a recommendation to make sure that you have rapid recovery and you have no last good golden copy of yours. And then is a recommend like thumbs up right here to make sure that the anomaly score is not too high and the risk is kind of low, to make sure that here is a recovery point that you should recover. But it is not automatic action. You still have your custom, so you can decide it on your own as well. It's not anything that auto task that might be recover something missed. Yeah. Another thing that we have is malware detection. We have you can have the malware scanner inside of the data, and it will be scanned after or during the backup of the infected files to make sure that you have a clean files on your system. And more than that, I'm talking about the threats for all the time. I do really proud to introduce Veritas Red Lab. before we Veritas going to bring the appliance to customer, we have been injected malware to make sure that our appliance is robust enough to bring it all to the real world testing, because vulnerabilities get updated all the time to see that our appliance is very robust enough. And you can see more about our Red Lab testimony in here, and you can ensure that it can be recovered, not just backup, but it can be recovered in real attack scenarios. So here at Red Lab, they can guarantee our appliance is robust than ever. And now you would like to see the real world use cases in certain of workloads. I would like to hand over to my colleague Chanrong to see more about workload-based practices, so you can see a specific one. How do you going to do with your data protection with Veritas product? Over to you, Chanrong.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Raksani. So for the workload best practices, I will go over on the data protection side, which previously we talked a lot about data security side. But let's go back to the basic of how should we going to protect your data center workload. It may reside on your data center or it may reside on the cloud. But okay, let me check the screen now. Roxani, I think I cannot control your screen anymore. Maybe you can help me
Sure.
to switch the slide for me.
Sure.
Okay. So as you can see in the screen right now, the net backup solution do support a lot of workloads. It's already known for many years that we do support a lot of unstructured data, the traditional workloads like the RDBMS, like SQL Server, Oracle, SAP. Of course, we do provide a virtualization workload like VMware, Nutanix, Hyper-V, and of course on the next gen workload like the open source database, and of course on the microservice like the Kubernetes. Also, the cloud workload, it can be on the public cloud, the IaaS, PaaS, object storage, and the SaaS workloads. And of course, net backup solution also have compatibilities of the deployment. You can use the traditional way, like purchase the license and install it on your own hardware, which we call it BYO, bring your own hardware. And of course, if you want the turnkey cyber resiliency solution, we do provide the flex appliance deployment in here. So as you can see in the screen now, we have a lot of workloads. And I cannot talk all about it because it's a lot. So in this session, I would only provide popular or well-known workload. The first one will be the VMware. Okay, for the VMware, we do have a lot of comprehensive backup and recovery way to do it. Of course, you can do the backup on the traditional VMware installation or on the vSAN, and we do provide a single pass backup, which we just only backing up one time, and then we provide a lot of way to recover, like full virtual machine recover. You can do the redirect recover to another cluster or another location of your choice if you replicate the backup data to another data center or location. Of course, if you want to restore the individual VMDK or single file folder, which is the agentless. And of course, if you have some Microsoft application inside your virtual machine, like Microsoft SQL, Exchange, SharePoint, or Active Directory, we do provide the single pass and application-aware backup and recovery on that. And right now we have like a aggressive RTO, so we do provide instant virtual machine access and instant rollback. So let's talk about the first one. Please move to the next slide and another. This is like the screenshot of the software itself. That's you can see there is a lot of workload we do support. So in the screenshot in here, we have like a virtual machine list. So if you let the net backup have the credential to access the maybe ESX server or vCenter, we can see the discover virtual machine to do the backup. So you can create a schedule backup to match on your environment, on your plan, on your protection plan. It's up to you. Okay, next please. As you can see, after you do the backup in just only the one time, and you can see that there is selected on DNS vSAN virtual machine. It will provide the display of the information about what is the recovery point. So you can see in the box on the red one here, you can choose recovery point, which one you want to do the recovery point, and select like what I mentioned before. You want to restore the full virtual machine, or roll back, or create an instant message, instant access to your virtual machine. And if you want to download file and folder right into the browser or agentless recovery, it's on here. Okay, let's go to talk about the rollback. In this use case, if you want to do the rollback, what is the use case? First, I just introduced you about the instant access, right? The instant access is like creating the snapshot and power on the backup VM into your production. You can reduce your RTO, or you just want to check on some VMs, but the instant rollback, this one use like unique block comparison to do the recover. It's mean like if you want to do the fast recovery without move the backup VM into your production server, you can use the instant rollback to do like a incrementally recovery. So it's like the net backup will compare your production VM and the backup VM, which block is not the same. We just restore only the change block. So we can have like a lot of RTO, and you can have your VM back in time. This one I use with the customer in the CrowdStrike event that every Windows machine has been has been impacted by the blue screen, right? So my customer using the instant rollback to roll back their VM from the backup, so they have less impact on the production. Okay, for the next one. As you can see in the demo screen right now, if you want to do the rollback, the system will ask if you want to perform the rollback even the VM is power on. And after the rollback is done, the net backup will do the automatical power on the rollback VM. So it will be automation on the rollbacks. So this one will help you to achieve the RTO a lot. Okay, next please. And of course, if you have like a tier 1 application running on the VMware, we do provide the CDP function. As you can see in the screen right now, we do provide the backup of the VM. You can check on the enable continuous data protection and set how many the data capture every maybe you can try on every hour, every 30 minutes, and you can set it to retain how many recovery point to keep on the system. So let's talking about the more technical detail. Next slide, please. In this the CDP installation, we install the VAIO plugin into your VMware environment to tap the change block and save it into the CDP gateway and save it in on the staging location. In this way, we can back up every maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes without doing the VM snapshot. That means you don't have any VM stunning on your production data, and you still have a lot of recovery point to match your aggressive RPO in the tier 1 application. And then let's say every 30 minutes, the net backup appliance or the net backup software will back up it on the CDP gateway. So you have a lot of recovery point to do the multi way to restore the VM. So this will help you to do with the tier 1 application. Okay, next please. By the way, if you have any technical question or any question, you can put it on the Q&A box, just to remind that. Okay, next workload, it will be K9S for net backup for Kubernetes. We do see a lot of implementation of the container orchestration workload right now. And believe me, the bad actors or hacker is trying to attack this as well, because we see a lot of persistent volume or persistent data is storing in the Kubernetes or microservice application right now. And of course, as I talk to the application owner or the developer, they want the simplified backup solution for them. And of course, to do the granular recovery, like the object level recovery on the namespace level, on the resource level, on the PVC level, it's up to your requirement to do the recover. As we can see in the diagram in here, we have the net backup solution on the right hand side and the Kubernetes cluster in the left hand side. So in the process in here, after we do the authentication to the Kubernetes cluster, we deploy the net backup namespace inside the Kubernetes cluster. And after you configure the schedule backup and the schedule is running now, the net backup namespace inside the Kubernetes cluster will call API to do the persistent volume snapshot backup and send the data to the net backup appliance or the backup storage of your choice. And when you want to restore or the application owner want to restore, they can just access to the net backup web UI and select their Kubernetes cluster and select which resource they want to recover. It can be service, it can be resources, it can be a whole PV volume or the whole cluster itself. It's up to the developer. So this way we can help the developer to achieve even more agile on the DevOps operation. Okay, next please. Okay, back to the traditional workload like Microsoft SQL. This one very classy. Sorry for the external voice. This one we do support on Microsoft SQL for the long time, and every mode of the Microsoft SQL server, like the single instance, if you want to run on the always on availability groups, the instance, the database, the file group, the pages, we do support all of the data protection on the Microsoft SQL, which we doing the snapshot base and protect the whole database and the transaction log. It's up to the schedule if you want to do the granular backup and recovery. And as I said before, if you have the Microsoft SQL server inside the virtual machine, yes, we can do the single pass backup. And the recent update of the net backup version, we do provide the Microsoft SQL instant access. That means we don't really need to recover the actual data. If you want to let the DBA to restore of the data on some row, some table, so we can provide the instant access for the Microsoft SQL to mount the backup DB into your Microsoft Studio management in the DB server and expose the DB, which is backup in the net backup in here, and the DBA can access the database to recover at the row level or table level. Just copy it into your production data. So this way you can accelerate the test dev operation and to reduce the RTO of your production database. Next, please. And the next one is a lot of popular database in here. As for the net backup for Oracle, we do have a lot of way to protect the Oracle database, like the classic one, which some organization will have the Oracle DBA that wants to take control of the data protection. So if they still want to use the RMAN, the recovery manager script to do the backup, we can provide the space where the NFS or CIFS universal share. So they still have the way of they're doing by using the RMAN script to dump the database or recover from the share without compromising the space on the production. And if you want to do the deduplication on source side, we do have the deduplication direct to provide the deduplication on the source side to reduce the backup time if there is not much change on the Oracle database. So in this way, you can reduce the data movement and the impact on the Oracle database. And we do have the Oracle, the Oracle incremental merge. So you can have like a incremental forever backup. So let's talk about this in some technical. Okay, next please. So first thing, we have like the Oracle database in here, right? On the left hand side in here, and the appliance provide the NFS share to the Oracle server. First time we do backup all of your data file. Let's say it's like a 10 TB, 10 terabyte of database. So we back up the full 10 TB of database into the appliance in here, and after that, we do provide a snapshot in here. And of course, after the first time, on the second time, we check with Oracle incremental merge to see if there is only a change block to do the backup. Let's say for the second day, there is only 300 gigabyte to do the backup. So the net backup will call only 300 gigabyte to backup, and then we run the Oracle incremental merge to make it another full. So, and the process will be recurring every day. So you can achieve the Oracle incremental backup forever. But you can have like the full backup every day. And of course, with the SLP technology, the storage lifecycle policy, after the first backup, you can move the data to another site, like the Kun Raksani mentioned about the air gap solution. So you can replicate to another site or URDR location with automation of data movement in here. So this one you can achieve a lot of reduce on the backup window. Okay, next please. And of course, every single point of backup on the Oracle, you can do like the instant access in here. It's the similar feature on the instant access for the Microsoft SQL. So we can make the snapshot of any recovery point and mount back into your database server. You can do like the CDM, the copy data management, to provide the production copy and then provide to the developer or the test server or the dev server without any data provision. So it can have the like to reduce the RTO and to accelerate the application development process. Okay, next please. And the last but not least on the Oracle database backup, if we have like a multi terabyte and you don't have any way to do single full backup within your window time, we also have another feature called the very large database backup, VLDB backup. So you can do like the scale out backup. Okay, let's run the animation on the next slide. As you can see, the single instance will be separate by separate to the 9 channel, and each of the channel can save it into or backup into the net backup service and the dedupe storage inside the media server or the backup storage. So you can accelerate the large database backup into the the scale out repository or scale out backup storage in here. Okay, next, open source DB. I see we can see a lot of database backup in I see in the open source database in here. Somehow, but a lot of customer may not know that, oh, they is running on the some of the virtual machine, right? But they do like a VM snapshot on the whole database virtual machine, and hopefully when they try to restore the VM, but unfortunately the VM can power on, but the database cannot because the table is corrupted, because they don't have the correct way to back up the open source DB like MySQL, MariaDB, or PostgreSQL in here. So I do recommend that we need to use the correct API or correct way to back up the application or database, which NetBackup can support it. So let's talk about a bit detail on here. As you can see in the diagram in here, after you configure the protection plan and the protection plan run on your schedule, the NetBackup will call on the agent inside your MySQL or PostgreSQL and take the database level snapshot. And then we'll let the snapshot mount into the on the local database server and transfer the data on the snapshot volume back to the appliance and the storage of your choice. So in this way, the backup will not impact like the SQL dump solution that provide on the native tools. If you talk about the SQL dump, it will impact on the production database, right? Because it will actually doing the table lock while it is backing up. If the backup is not finished, the lock still enable and your application will freeze. This is a lot of impact on the production side. So we do provide the snapshot level backup for your database. Okay. That's the workload that I try to introduce, because if I cover every workload that NetBackup support and the best practices I try to share, it will take the whole day because we do support a lot. So let's talk about the centralized management, which the outer view, because as Kun Raksani told us about the 3211 best practice data protection rule. So at least you need to have 2 domains of the backup solution, right? But how you can do the centralized management of the 2 or more domains? So we do provide the SaaS-based solution that you can use it for free if you have the NetBackup subscription license. So you just need the Flex plan to connect to the internet, and we can help you to provide the dashboard of the management of multi-domain, and we can have like a AI driven insight to help you to do the operational and reporting, like the Gen AI in here. So we leverage the Gen AI to provide you the automation of the day-to-day operation in here. Like if you want to create the new backup policy based on unprotected VM. So the AI will try to check on the NetBackup environment. Oh, let's say they have hundreds of VM, but you just only configure 50 VM and another 50 is not configured yet, and you want to the outer view or the outer copilot to do the automation on policy creation, you can ask the copilot or the Gen AI to create the policy for your protection. And of course, we do so. We also provide the report on it. And let's talk about the blueprint in here. So you may wonder if you want to apply our solution, the turnkey cyber recovery solution with 3211 and the air gap, you can use this picture or this diagram as the best practice or simplified practice to your organization, to your environment. So let's say if you have 2 data center in here, so of course, you want to do the local backup for the fast day-to-day operation, like to do the backup and recovery as fast as you want to backup and recover, right? And for the 2 and 1 and the first number 1 in here, you want to have 2 backup copies and 1 copy that replicate to another one, to the different DC, right? So we can provide or apply the air gap solution in here. Like you say, and in the diagram in here, the arrow is coming from the DC2 to DC1. So this is the differentiate replication method that we do, like a backup reverse replication in here. So there is no connection allowed from the DC1 or from the source side. So we can help you to reduce the attack surface on the reverse replication in the air gap zone in here. And of course, next please. And of course, we provide the AI ML to do the anomaly on the data anomaly or user behavior anomaly and the threat hunting and the indicator of compromise to check if is there any anomaly on the backup data or any something wrong on the your backup data in the Flex appliance in here. And of course, inside the Flex appliance also provide you the immutable storage. So you can have your data reside on the Flex appliance without any alteration or modification on your backup data. And of course, we also provide a malware scan host. If you want to look into your backup images, is that infected, or if you want to recover which one is your last known good backup images. So you can check on the malware scan host in here. And last, the outer view. So you can have like a unified backup management to see across your backup status on the reporting, the cyber resiliency status on your backup. And of course, we also provide the AI to checking on your status or on your data, which is already safe enough or it's already compromised, or which copy we are recommending to do the recovery. So that's the turnkey cyber recovery blueprint for you. So let me summary in here. So we do support a lot of data protection workloads, like on the on-premise and on cloud, which I cannot talk today. It's a lot. So let's discuss on the other time. And of course, we do provide on the cyber security or the data security inside our solution to prevent any attack on the data on the backup solution. We have on the left-hand side like the anomaly detection on the data and the user, the malware scan, the threat hunting, the immutable storage, and the encryption, network access control, MFA, MPA, RBAC. There's a lot of data security inside our system. And the right-hand side, we have like the Veritas Red Lab to do the penetration to ourselves. If it is there any vulnerability on the product itself, we will notify first. So that's the summarize that how we can do the data protection and the data security on the customer data center to protect everything on your data center, to ensure that if there any cyber attack event occur, you can rest assured that Veritas solution can help you to recover the data or business back to your production. Okay, that's end of my presentation, but I don't see there is any questions yet. I'm not sure if there is any question on the first section on the data security or the turnkey cyber recovery solution, or on the data protection side. Please do ask.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chanarong and Samis, for your enlightening presentation, and I hope everyone found it as well valuable as I did. អរគុណ speaker របស់យើងទាំងពីរនៅថ្ងៃនេះ ហើយយើងសង្ឃឹមថា presentation នេះដែលអាចជាចំណេះដឹងដល់ audit របស់យើងដែលបានចូលរួមនៅថ្ងៃនេះផងដែរអូខេអញ្ចឹងបងបើ if you have any question please put in the chat box ហើយយើងដល់ we are reach as part our Q&A session ហើយអញ្ចឹងមានសំណួរអាចធ្លាក់ចូលក្នុង chat box បាន Okay, so I have several questions from audit. Let me start the first one. So the question is what advice do you have for organization just starting to explore on a cyber recovery solution? So Rasmi or Chanarong can ask question.
Maybe I can answer on this. I would advise or recommend you to check on your environment first. As Kun Raksani showing about the best practice or industry standard on the how we can help you to do the cyber resilience solution. First, you need to think about the 3211 backup practice. And second, you need to check on your current backup system. It is hardened enough. It's like you have like implement on the hardened backup solution, MFA, MPA, or the role-based access control. It's like to put the wall on your backup system, harden it. And the third one is the immutable instance. Do you are you using it on your current backup system? If not, I do recommend you to find the immutable storage solution. And the last one, if you want to do like a 3211, you may look into the air gap or data isolation. So if there is anything happen to your production, maybe you can go to pick the clean data from the isolation zone and recover it back to the production data.
Okay, I hope.
Okay, any more question?
Answer. And yeah, have interested another question. The question is, what innovation can we expect from Veritas in the near future to
Okay.
enhance cyber resilience?
I see. For the innovation perspective, I think we can have like the roadmap on the product manager from our organization, because the cyber security or cyber attack is evolve every time, right? We do have the roadmap to improve integration feature with the cyber security vendors, as you can see. But we didn't talk about the integration on the cybersecurity vendors a lot, but we do have like the SIEM and SOAR integration, malware scan integration, or on the cybersecurity, and we have like the AI that we doing the integration to do like the threat hunting or finding the IOC, assisting the customer to prevent the cyber attack to eat up our own backup solution. So rest assured, we do have a lot of roadmap and integration in the future.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. And the last one question is, what the results or the next step do you recommend for the attenders who want to learn or more or implement the Veritas solution?
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I would take this
Maybe.
one.
Okay.
Sure. I would suggest visiting our website. I'll share on the screen right now. Here is Veritas Zero Doubt. You can access to our website to see our innovation in the RML, and we have to see like the security vendor that integrated our ecosystem, like Chanarong said. And you can see that about the white paper, technical brief. If you're interested, please scan the QR code, or I will put the link on the chat box as well. You can access it.
អូខេអញ្ចឹង audit របស់យើងអ្នកចូលរួមថ្ងៃនេះបងអាចធ្វើការ scan ដើម្បីទទួលបានព័ត៌មានបន្ថែមពី Veritas okay so that's all about question អញ្ចឹងថ្ងៃនេះ បន្ទាប់ពីយើងបានស្ដាប់អំពីការ presentation របស់ speaker យើងហើយយើងយល់ថា cyber attack ហ្នឹងគឺ landscape គឺបានកើនឡើងជារាល់ថ្ងៃនៅក្នុង global stack របស់យើងអញ្ចឹងត្រឹមតែជា traditional backup solution មួយគឺវាអត់គ្រប់គ្រាន់ទេអញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវតែមាន cyber recovery solution បន្ថែមទៀតធ្វើយ៉ាងណាឲ្យធានាថា business របស់យើងហ្នឹងវា continuity មិនថាបន្តទៅមុខទោះបីជាមាន cyber attack ដូចជា ransomware ក៏ដោយហើយ solution របស់យើងគឺយើងមាន verticast technology ដើមដើម្បីធ្វើការក្នុងការជួយដោះស្រាយទៅលើបញ្ហាទាំងអស់ហ្នឹង and so we are running out of short time but don't worry if you have any question can email to our team or organizer team មានសំណួរបងប្អូនអាចបងអាច share ចូល Technovage solution team or organization team ក្នុង email ជាដើម so okay as we come in the end our webinar today okay so okay we have one question from audience let me read this mostly for the cyber attack for latest threat what are they can you answer the question
Okay, if we look in the trend right now, I believe there is a lot of attack on the people. If you check into the cyber security practice, you have to do like the 3 pillar, like the people, process, and technology, right? But we in the trend right here, we do see a lot of attacking on the people. That's mean it attacking us because we are holding the elevate permission, right? The super user, if they can have the hacker can have your credential, it can access everything. So the trend right now is the attacking the people with the AI and a lot of phishing and in trend right now.
Happen a lot in Thailand as well.
The phishing call, the scammer to let you provide the information they want to use to access the information or the confidential one. Okay, any on the questions?
okay I think
Yes, agree.
Agreed. Yeah. That's why you need to do the security awareness trainings. All right. Okay. Thanks a lot. It's a wonderful audience. I think throughout the session, most of the people, I think almost all the audience were there. And thanks a lot, guys, for attending this webinar. And we are hoping to do many webinars in this year as well, 2025. So wish you all the best for this new year. And please contact us through our marketing channels and social media. We have all the channels open to you guys, LinkedIn and Telegram. So please reach to us. And if you need one-on-one meetings, we can also arrange one-on-one meetings with our partners. So, okay. Have a great evening, guys. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
goodbye bye bye
Thank you. Goodbye.
អ្នកនរគ្នា